Hello and welcome. So we're going to be solving an equation for C. Now keep your eye on the prize. This is your goal. The other letters in there are not going to make a difference. Now, when we're solving this, there's a couple of ways we can go about it. The first thing I notice is that we have a lot of fractions. All right, so what I'm going to do as a first step is I'm going to undo the fractions. Because even if we were to get rid of the fraction with just C in it, you would have to worry about fraction arithmetic, common denominators with the other fractions. So I'm going to get rid of all of my fractions at once. When you're solving for variables, generally you want to get rid of the fractions. So to do that, I'd say, all right, well, fractions are division. You undo division with multiplication. So if we're dividing by C, I'm going to multiply by C. And I'm going to keep that same idea for the other fractions as well. If we're dividing by y, multiply by y. If you're dividing by m, multiply by m. But keep in mind that you don't get to pick and choose what you can multiply by and where you get to multiply it. Meaning if I multiply c on the left, I'm going to multiply c on the right. And if I need to multiply by a y and an m on the right, you're going to have to do that also on the left. All right? So let me write this out, and it's going to make a lot more sense why we're doing all of this at once. So we have a 2, a y, an m, and a c, all over c, equals a 7, a y, an m, and a c over y, plus a 6 times a y, an m, and a c over m. All right, so now this is where we're sitting at, and I'd say, all right, everything is multiplication in the numerator. So that means that if you have the case, meaning you have the same thing over the same thing, it's going to cancel out and give you 1. So if we have c on the top and the bottom, because it's multiplication, you can cross it out. If you have y on the top and the bottom, m top and the bottom, cross them out. So we have 2y and m equals 7, m and c, plus 6y and c. All right, eye on the prize, remember your goal. C equals, so you have 2 C's there. All right, now the next step is one that's a little harder to think about, and that is we have 2 C's and we need to combine them together. But right now, you don't have like terms because the M and the Y are different variables. And how we're going to tackle that is if you have 2 different letters, right, 2 different terms, right, with the same letter, we're going to take a GCF. They both have a C. Pull out what they both have. Pull out the C. Now, the GCF, generally you would want to include numbers. For this, we don't. We want the C and just the C. I don't care about the numbers in front. So we have 7m plus 6y, right? Your goal is to pull out the C because you want to combine it. And the reason why is count how many C's you have in your whole equation. 1. There was only 1 C. It's right here. All right, your goal is C equals. So I'd say, okay, what's attached to my C now? The parentheses. Which operation is it attached with? It's multiplication, which we undo with division. So if I'm multiplying by that parenthesis, you can divide, in order to undo it. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay, so same thing over same thing. That is a very fancy one. And you get C equals 2ym, or my, right? 7m plus 6y. Is C alone? Yes. You have solved your equation and are done. All right, so that would be kind of my steps there. So if you have fractions, get rid of the fraction. More than one variable, get them all to one side, GCF it out, and then divide by whatever you don't want there attached to the C. All right, there you go. There is how you would solve an equation like that. Thanks for watching.